These are the final more times Meg Griffin did something so twisted, so deeply wrong, that it's honestly hard to believe this character still gets treated as the harmless one. From engineering her husband's assassination through a tweet, to faking her own death and starting a new life under a murder victim's name, Meg Griffin, between seasons 10 and 22, becomes something the earlier seasons barely hinted at.
Just stick your head in here and pretend it's a butt!
No, Meg, stop it! God, this is getting too weird. I can't be your boyfriend.
Let's finish the show. Season 10, episode 20, puts Meg in a genuinely horrifying situation that has nothing to do with her own behavior for once. And the show plays it darker than almost anything else in the series up to this point. Meg travels to Paris with her friend Ruth on what's supposed to be a straightforward trip.
Would you ladies like to share a cab?
Sure.
That sounds great.
The kind of experience a normal teenage girl would remember fondly for the rest of her life.
Oh, it's so amazing here, Dad.
Yep.
You should see it. The apartment we're staying in is huge and has an incredible view of...
What actually happens bears no resemblance to that. Traffickers grab both of them,
Please, there's gotta be something you can do. My little girl is in terrible danger.
and the episode shifts into a full parody of the movie Taken. Except the person being sold at auction isn't Liam Neeson's fictional daughter, it's Meg. Brian and Stewie mount the rescue operation, tracking Meg across Paris while the traffickers prepare her for sale.
What the Where'd you get that hat?
A girl gave it to me.
What did she look like?
She had a great personality.
An Arabian prince purchases Meg at auction before the rescue lands, and Ruth suffers a brutal injury during the ordeal. Brian and Stewie manage to pull Meg out, but the damage from the entire experience hangs over the episode like a fog.
Let me go, you fat bastard! I will never be your
You misunderstand. This is Faisal, my son.
What registers as SUS about this one isn't Meg's choices, since she's the victim from start to finish.
It is my hope that you will agree to be my wife, but the choice is yours. If you say no, I will have you flown back to your family on our private jet.
The SUS lives in what the show decides to do with her. Family Guy takes its most abused character,
No!
the girl who has spent 10 seasons being mocked, ignored, and tormented by everyone in her orbit, and drops her into a trafficking storyline where she's literally sold to the highest bidder.
But you really don't remember anything?
Not really, Mom.
The episode even opens with the whole school pelting her in a dodgeball game and a gym teacher behaving inappropriately with students before the Paris trip begins.
Good job today. Great class. Nice hustle.
Meg can't catch a single break, not at home, not at school, and apparently not on another continent either. The show keeps finding new ways to brutalize this girl, and each method lands darker than the last. Season 11, Episode 7, contains what might be the single most morally repugnant thing Meg has ever attempted across 22 seasons of television. And the fact that she pulls back at the last second barely softens the impact. Meg finally works up the courage to ask out her crush, Kent.
Yes! I can't believe it! Oh my god! I'm going out on a date with Kent, last name!
A moment she's been building toward with real emotional investment. Kent turns her down.
Well, good night.
Night.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, I thought you wanted...
I didn't think this was a date.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed!
And the reason hits Meg sideways. He's gay, and the person he's actually interested in is her brother, Chris.
Brother? Rupert, did you hear that? Meg's boyfriend is in love with me.
Everything Meg wanted from Kent, the attention, the affection, the validation, Kent wants from someone in Meg's own family. Refusing to accept that reality, Meg's first move involves trying to position herself as Kent's cover, inserting herself into his life as a fake girlfriend, so she can stay close to him, even though the romantic feelings only flow in one direction.
No, Meg, stop it. God, this is getting too weird. I can't be your boyfriend. In fact, I don't even think I can be your friend.
When that fails to give her what she needs, Meg's thinking takes a turn into territory the show has never gone before. She obtains a substance from Quagmire, one designed to knock someone unconscious, and hatches a plan to spike Chris's drink.
What? Who's there?
Go back to sleep, Dad.
Okay.
so that Kent can take advantage of her brother while he's completely unaware.
Oh, he's a snooze juicer. Okay.
Meg's intention is to extract the details afterward for her own vicarious satisfaction. Let that sequence register for a moment.
Chris, what are you doing in my room?
Nothing.
Yes, you were.
Meg schemes to incapacitate her own brother, set him up to be taken advantage of by another person, and then use the second-hand details as a substitute for the relationship she can't have. At the very last moment, after seeing a childhood photo of Chris, Meg pours out the spiked drink and abandons the plan.
Oh, Chris. Hi, I didn't realize you'd be awake.
What?
Well, Meg said you'd be asleep, but it's fine. I can work with this.
The show frames this as a redemption beat, as Meg's conscience kicking in right before the point of no return. But here's what makes this land so hard on the sus scale.
I'm so sorry. I was so obsessed with Kent that I guess I wasn't thinking straight. I'm just glad I stopped before I did a really terrible thing.
Meg acquired the substance. Meg prepared the drink. Meg stood in the room, ready to hand it over. The only thing that separated her from going through with it was a photograph she happened to glance at. Remove that one coincidence, and this episode ends with Meg successfully carrying out the plan against her own brother. Conscience didn't stop this. Luck did.
I know you feel terrible, but you're not a bad person, Meg. You just need to get back out there, and someday maybe you'll find the right guy.
Season 12, Episode 4 takes Meg's desperation to escape consequences and pushes it into some of the most graphic and self-degrading territory the show has ever attempted. Meg accidentally spills her lunch on the new kid at school, an unstable bully called Mental Mike Pulaski, and the result is a challenge to an after-school fight that Meg has absolutely no way of winning.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry!
What's your name, dude?
Meg Griffin!
Mental Mike isn't a regular bully. The name exists for a reason, and every student at the school understands that this fight will not end well for whoever stands across from him. Meg's first priority becomes avoiding the fight entirely, and the method she chooses to accomplish that tells you everything about where her head is at this point in the series.
Oh my god, you guys, what am I gonna do? That psycho is going to kill me. Meg, you gotta find a way out of this fight.
She uploads a compromising video of herself to the school computers, deliberately trying to get herself expelled so she never has to face Mike.
Come on, really? Ooh.
Getting kicked out of school and having that kind of footage circulating publicly ranks as preferable, in Meg's mind, to standing in a parking lot for 3 minutes. Expulsion doesn't come through, so Meg has to fight. Quagmire steps in to train her, and during the process, reveals his own troubling history with a childhood bully.
Anyway, that was the beginning of a long relationship. It's one thing if you put your inside out in the safety of your own bedroom.
Training complete, Meg faces Mental Mike and wins through a sequence that plays like a horror movie directed by someone who lost a bet. She kisses Mike, pops a zit on him, and then uses her body in a way that literally melts his face off.
He's older.
You missed!
In a direct parody of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The episode then drops one final detail almost as a throwaway, revealing that Meg passes away the following year from complications tied to something referenced earlier in the episode.
What's your problem, dude? You've got major issues. Oh my god, she's crazy! Did you hear the volleyball team lost in San Diego?
The show delivers this information casually and moves on without a second thought. What stacks up as SUS in this episode operates on multiple levels. A teenage girl produces and distributes compromising content of herself as a strategy to avoid a fistfight. Her body becomes a literal weapon to the point where revealing it physically destroys another person. And the show caps the whole thing with a grim footnote about her fate that nobody in the episode bothers to react to. Every layer peels back into something worse than the one above it. Season 12, Episode 19 offers one of the rare Meg episodes that starts with something almost sweet before sliding sideways into classic Meg territory. Peter takes Meg on a college visit, which sounds like a wholesome father-daughter outing on paper.
I know a lot about you.
You do?
I know you're afraid of guacamole.
It's the devil's vomit.
In the last election, you voted for Mighty Mouse.
What actually unfolds is Peter turning the trip into a party, and Meg, rather than pulling the responsible card, dives in head first. The two of them bond over drinking together, a moment the show frames as genuine connection between a father and daughter, who have spent the entire series failing to relate to each other. The bonding comes at a cost.
You guys are back! Meg, how was your interview?
We didn't go. I slept right through it.
What?
Meg blows off her admissions interview entirely, sacrificing a real shot at her future because partying with Peter felt more important in the moment.
You blow your chance to go to your first choice college. I can't believe you would be so irresponsible.
Hey, Meg, you want to huck some water balloons at nerds?
For a girl who has spent 12 seasons begging for acceptance from a father who barely acknowledges she exists, the temptation of Peter finally treating her like someone he wants to spend time with outweighs everything else, including her education.
Come on, it'll be fun. Isn't this great, Meg? Sorry I forgot to get you an ostrich.
Meg does eventually reschedule the interview on her own terms, telling Peter that she'd prefer he stay in the role of her father rather than becoming her drinking buddy.
It's time for me to get serious about my life and take some responsibility.
Well, I don't like this, Meg. I like the fun, Meg. I thought we were friends.
That moment lands as one of the more mature things Meg has said in the entire series. And then, the show undercuts it completely with a closing reveal that Meg got into her chosen college, but picked up an embarrassing health issue along the way and earned the nickname the Warthog from her classmates. The sus in this episode is quieter than the rest of this list, but cuts just as deep. Meg's need for Peter's approval runs so hot that the first time he offers genuine companionship, she immediately throws away a college interview to keep the moment going. 12 seasons of being ignored by her father created a dynamic where one night of bonding carries more weight than her entire academic future. The show rewards her brief flash of maturity with humiliation and a degrading nickname, which is about as Family Guy as it gets. Season 16, Episode 8, accelerates Meg's self-destructive streak into dangerous territory, with Peter once again serving as the catalyst who lights the fuse. Peter encourages Meg to crash a high school party so he can have the television to himself for the evening.
Oh, come on, it's your senior year. Somebody must be having a party or something.
Well, there's one, but I wasn't invited.
Well, so what? Go crash it.
Essentially pushing his daughter into an unsupervised social situation purely for his own convenience. Meg takes the opportunity and runs with it.
All right, ladies, time to mingle. Hey, you guys talking Big Bang over here? Big Bang Theory? No?
Discovering that she has a talent for bottle tossing that impresses the other students. Attention arrives, acceptance follows, and drinking becomes the vehicle for both. The acceptance she finds through partying hits differently than anything else in her life. Classmates notice her, cheer for her, and treat her like she belongs, all because she can throw back drinks and perform a party trick.
Little the old schnapps try to get me right. Hey, Chrissy!
Meg doesn't slow down. The drinking continues at home, and Peter joins in rather than shutting it down, turning the whole thing into another father-daughter bonding exercise built on mutual self-destruction. The spiral deepens until the two of them end up so far gone that they drift out to sea together.
Dad? Dad, wake up!
What happened?
I don't know. We must have stolen this boat last night. I have no idea where the hell we are.
A situation dangerous enough that it could have ended both of them. Scattered details throughout the episode paint a broader picture of how far Meg has already drifted before this storyline even begins.
I mean it, Dad. This is serious.
I did pants instead.
Ugh, I don't feel so hot. What is wrong with me?
She uses a fake ID bearing Chris Christie's photo, and her reputation at school already includes putting the lunch lady in a headlock. What registers as SUS about this one is the engine driving all of it. Peter pushes Meg toward a party for selfish reasons. Meg discovers that alcohol buys her the social acceptance she's craved for 16 seasons, and nobody in the family intervenes until they're literally floating in the ocean.
Are all hangovers this bad?
Yep, that's the deal you make with the gods of fun. Every 72 hours, you lose a day.
The girl who joined a cult for friendship in Season 1 is now doing whatever it takes to keep the party going for the exact same reason, and the only adult who should be stopping her is the one encouraging it. Season 18, Episode 18, takes Meg's lifelong rejection and spins it into one of the darkest and most elaborate schemes she's ever pulled off. And what her own family does in response might be even worse. Meg's birthday arrives, and both her school and her family completely ditch her. Nobody shows up, nobody cares, and Meg spends the day bowling alone.
Yes!
A mix-up at the bowling alley leads to another person being killed in a car accident while carrying Meg's ID.
It pains me above the waist to tell you that Meg is dead.
What?
What are you talking about? Meg's right here.
And the news reports Meg as dead.
If there's anything we can do to help you during your time of need.
Wow, are girls coming on to me because my sister died?
Meg attends her own funeral. The turnout is pathetic, and the family's grief is shallow enough to confirm everything Meg has always suspected about how little she means to them.
Unbelievable. There's hardly anyone here. Well, that's it. I'm off to a new town to start a new life.
Seeing that reality laid bare gives Meg an idea. She decides to stay dead. Under the alias Natalie Hallway, a name that works as a dark reference to real-life crime victim Natalie Holloway, Meg relocates to another town and builds an entirely new life from scratch.
Hallway. Natalie Hallway.
Nice to meet you, Natalie. You want to join us on the roof?
New identity, new surroundings, new start. The girl who spent 18 seasons begging to be accepted by her family decides the cleaner option is to let them think she's gone forever.
Wait, how did you get so good at bowling?
Oh, I used to play a lot back in Korea.
Homesickness eventually creeps in, and Meg calls Chris for help getting back.
Hey, Chris.
Meg! Are you alive?
Yes, I'll explain everything. Can you come meet me?
What Chris does next is genuinely shocking, even by Griffin family standards.
Sorry, Meg, but I can't let you come home just yet. I'm too popular now.
Enjoying the popularity boost that comes from being the grieving brother who lost his sister, Chris has Meg shoved into a moving van and tied up in a warehouse to keep her dead and preserve his social status.
Damn it, Chris. I don't care that you're popular now. Let me out of here!
Her own brother essentially holds her captive in an empty building so he can keep riding the sympathy wave at school.
Whoa, looks like the school really is missing Meg.
Meg escapes by repeatedly hitting her head against the concrete floor until she creates enough of a slick surface to slide out of her restraints. The method alone tells you everything about the state of mind this girl operates in. Deliberately injuring yourself against a concrete surface, over and over, because that's the only exit strategy available.
Oh my God, Meg, I'm so glad you're alive. What happened?
He did this.
The SUS in this episode runs in both directions. Meg fabricates her own death, adopts a crime victim's name as her alias, and abandons her family without a second thought. Chris responds by having his own sister captured and locked away to protect his popularity. And Meg's method of escape involves willingly hurting herself on a warehouse floor until she can slip free. Every member of this family is broken, but this episode proves Meg and Chris might be broken in ways that mirror each other more closely than either of them realizes.
Meg, I'm so glad you're back. We love you, honey.
I love you too, Mom.
Season 21, Episode 20 delivers the single coldest, most calculated thing Meg Griffin has ever done across 22 seasons of Family Guy. And the fact that she pulls it off without raising her voice makes it even more unsettling. This episode functions as a sequel to a previous storyline where Meg stayed in Russia with a scam artist named Ivan.
Ah, my darling has appetite of Siberian walrus and is just as fragrant.
The two of them marry, and for a moment it looks like Meg has finally found someone willing to commit to her.
I cannot wait to etch this picture of you into hideous black gravestone.
Which background do you want?
That illusion shatters when Meg overhears Ivan gloating about the fact that he only married her to obtain a green card.
Ah, so you got green card marriage, huh?
That's right. American cow fell for it. Here's to my last night in Russia.
The relationship, the commitment, the entire marriage was a con from the beginning, and Meg was the mark. Most characters in this situation would confront the person, file for divorce, or leave. Meg does none of those things. Instead, she takes Ivan's phone and begins posting anti-Russian messages under his name, writing things like, "I don't care for fur hats." This might sound like a petty prank until you understand the logic behind it. Meg knows that the Russian government in the show's universe eliminates citizens who publicly criticize the country, and she posts those messages with full awareness of what the consequences will be. The Russian government takes Ivan out as a direct result of the posts Meg planted on his phone. She watches it happen, walks out on the marriage, and returns to America. No other moment on this entire three-part list matches the cold precision of what Meg does here. Every previous SUS moment involved heat, emotion, impulse, or desperation. The cult happened because she was lonely. The Brian kidnapping erupted from obsession. The prison transformation came from trauma. Every dark act had an emotional engine behind it.
Now after
This one doesn't. Meg discovers her husband used her, calmly takes his phone, posts content she knows will end him, and leaves the country after it's done. Orchestrating the end of your own husband through a social media post is the kind of move that doesn't come from desperation. It comes from someone who has crossed a line so many times that the line no longer exists. Season 22, Episode 1 brings us to the final entry on this list, and it lands perfectly as the last stop because it takes Meg's oldest and deepest wound, her need to be needed, and weaponizes it against people who trusted her. Meg overhears Bruce and his partner Jeffrey wishing for a child and volunteers to serve as their surrogate, offering to help two people she cares about achieve something they can't accomplish on their own.
Mom, Dad, I'm having Bruce and Jeffrey's baby.
Lois and Peter object, but Meg pushes forward.
Yeah, so now we just have to implant that very hot embryo into Meg's body.
Is this gonna hurt?
Not at all.
She carries the baby to term and gives birth to a daughter named Liza Judy Barbara.
Oh, it's in the bag already. It's a girl.
What's that big old vine coming out?
She looks like one of them pumpkins in Cinderella.
Everything proceeds according to plan until the handoff. Bruce and Jeffrey need more time to prepare, and Meg offers to raise the baby temporarily while they get ready.
Okay, Liza Judy Barbara. It's time for the bottle because I forgot to tweeze my nips.
That temporary arrangement is where the entire thing cracks open. Meg becomes obsessively attached to the baby, and not in the normal way a caregiver bonds with an infant. This attachment transforms into possession. Meg starts lying to Bruce and Jeffrey, inventing excuses and manufacturing delays to keep the baby from being returned to its actual parents.
This baby needs me. For once, my life has purpose. And I'm good at this. Better than these two, anyway.
Every conversation about the handoff gets redirected, every timeline gets pushed, and every honest opportunity to return the child gets sabotaged by Meg's growing refusal to let go. The reason behind the obsession is the most revealing part. This baby is the first living thing that has ever needed Meg. Not tolerated her, not grudgingly accepted her presence, but actively needed her for survival. After 22 seasons of being rejected by her family, mocked by her peers, abandoned by every romantic interest, and treated as disposable by essentially every person she's ever met, Meg finally has someone who depends on her completely. And she will lie, manipulate, and deceive the baby's actual parents to keep that feeling alive.
I'm sure she knows that too.
What makes this the right episode to close on is how cleanly it connects back to where this entire series started. Season 1, Episode 3, Meg joined a cult because a stranger smiled at her and invited her to a party. 21 seasons later, she's manipulating a couple out of their own child because that child gives her the one thing she's chased through: cults, kidnappings, fake pregnancies, prison stints, stalking sprees, and a faked death.
You better promise.
We do.
In that case, I'll take a chance on you.
Someone who needs her. Every single sus moment across all three parts of this series traces back to the same fracture. Meg Griffin wants to matter to someone. And because nobody ever let her matter in any healthy or lasting way, she built an entire career out of the most warped, dangerous, and increasingly extreme methods of chasing that feeling down. 22 seasons, 22 episodes on this list. And the wound underneath all of it has never changed. The only thing that changes is how far Meg is willing to go to fill it.